Hello friends, welcome to this MySQL replication demonstration. This session is about the setting up the environment and setting up master slave replication on MySQL 5.7. To set up the environment, first let me brief you what the environment is. I'm running an Oracle VM VirtualBox and the VirtualBox is 6.1.4, which is latest as of this month, April 2020. And I've configured two machines. One is with complete GUI, one is with minimum install. Both are running on CentOS 7 and are updated. For networking part, I have created a host network by specifying these details: 10.0.0.1/24, and this is the IP address of this adapter, and the DHCP server is enabled, and the range is 10.0.0.10 and 10.0.0.11. This is host adapter. Once you configure it, when we talk about the machine, both machines have second adapter enabled, and that adapter is using this host only adapter, which is here. Click on this adapter 2 when the machine is off. You can check this box and then select host only adapter, and you select the adapter name from the list. Once it is selected in both the machines, I'll show you the machine now. This is my first machine, server. I'm logging in as root, and this is my second machine, which I said no GUI, minimum install. And in this machine we need to verify what is there in the network configuration settings. etc sysconfig network scripts ifcfg -enp0, and the second adapter is S8. Open this adapter, and I've configured the IP address, static IP address 10.0.0.11, and this is the boot pro 2 static, netmask gateway, and if you look at the last setting is on boot is equal to yes. So these are 4-5 lines which are mandatory on this. Once you do this, you do the same thing for the second machine also, which is my server. And because I have Oracle also running on this, so this host name is oracle.example.com. so the IP address of this machine, let me show you the adapter: sysconfig network scripts ifcfg -enp0 S8. Similar configure. So this machine has the IP address 10.0.0.10, netmask. Obviously boot pro 2 is static, so static IP address, netmask, and gateway, and on boot is equal to yes. So these are the network settings for this machine. Once these settings are ready, then you need to verify that you have host name properly configured so that you can access each other machine with host name. So for that we need to make an entry into etc host, and these are the two lines: 10.0.0.10, this is the IP address of this particular machine, which is Oracle short name, and oracle.example.com fully qualified domain name. We call it as local resolver. 10.0.0.11 tester.example.com. Exactly same lines are there in my second machine. If you look at vi/etc/hosts, and the same line 10.0.0.10 for Oracle, oracle.example.com, 10.0.0.11, this is tester.example.com, tester short name. So, and same thing I need to configure in my Windows machine. For my Windows machine, I want to access these machines from my Windows. So for that, best thing is that first you copy your file from this path, Windows system32 drivers etc. You will not be able to edit it, the host file directly here. So best is copy this file on the desktop and then edit it. Now I'm editing the same thing, and this is my last step pending, which I'm doing with you now. 0, and same steps I'm going to do here also. Oracle space oracle.example.com. so this is my second machine, and this is my tester, and the IP address you know is tester, then tester.example oracle.example.com. So once you have this, oracle.example.com, tester.example.com, and rest these machines I don't want, because this is my actually when I configured my cloud, these machines were configured for this purpose. So save this file, Control S, alright, and close this, and then paste this file back to the location from where you copied it and replace it. You will not be able to edit this file in at current location. Please be careful about it, and I'm very warning you guys. So better is you can open it with the other location also, like you can open it, verify it with Notepad. Problem with Notepad, you can open it, but problem with Notepad, same thing is that you will not be able to edit the file. Like if you try to edit and save it, you will not be able to save it. Even if you save it at the desktop, chances are that it will be saved as extension txt, which is not definitely, which is an error. So you don't have to save this file. Ensure that the file is does not have any extension or text particularly. So I'm not saving it. Now once these settings are done, this will help me in connect my both machines using host name from here putty. So let me try Oracle and port number 22, and I am trying to save it as Oracle, save, and then I can open it with this putty also. So that gives me a platform to connect my host machine using putty. Root Red Hat. I'm logged into my Oracle machine now, you see that, and I can have another session now, open another session, and now I will open and save my tester. Alright, tester and port number 22, and this is my tester machine, and save it and open it, and this will open my tester machine. So this will give me the environment setting where I am able to ping both machines, and I'm able to connect to both the machines from my putty. So I don't require that. You know why I copied from putty? Because I want to do some copy paste stuff on my virtual machine. So putty gives me the facility where I can do copy paste also for the commands. That gives me the benefit. So now I can ping from here, ping Oracle, and I'm able to ping tester. I'm able to ping tester. Same thing, I can do the same thing here, ping tester, and I can ping Oracle also, ping Oracle. So now what is the situation on this Oracle machine? I have to set up the same environment. So for this purpose, what am I doing now is, for you guys, just see that I have already MySQL server is running on this machine. So let me show you system CTL status MySQL D, MySQL system CTL status MySQL D, MySQL D. Okay, this is not machine. Okay, this I have removed these settings, and the MySQL is not installed on any of the machine. Great. So therefore what I'll do is I will install MySQL on both the machines. That make my job more easier in fact. So for that purpose what I'll do is I'll go to Oracle website, check the link of the website and the yum repository, and I'm going to download and install that. So go to Google, MySQL 5.7 yum repo. So that make your job easy, and you go to this repository, and this gives me the repository of MySQL 5.7. So I need Oracle 7, so we'll use the second one. Copy link and then wget now it will install it, and go to the same file /etc/yum.repos.d/mysql community.repo, and here we get all the versions. So this is MySQL 5.5 disabled, 5.6 disabled, 5.7 I want to enable this, so I will select 1 here, that's important, and 8 I want to disable it, that's important. So that's it. These are the two settings which I require here. and once I do this, I'm good to start. So now I can install yum install MySQL -community -server. This will install MySQL community server, and let's do the same process there also on this machine. Okay, let's go back to the tester machine. This is my tester, and I'm going to do the same process. Copy link and wget, and then same process here. The good thing is that I'm repeating, so that will help you actually. So MySQL 8 vi MySQL RPM -ivh MySQL, and we just install it. Open the file /etc/yum.repos.d/mysql.repo, and same process here. 5.7 enable this, enable is equal to 1, and disable MySQL 8, enable is equal to 0. And now yum install -y MySQL -community -server. This will install MySQL community server. So let's see what is the status there. It is downloading and installing, and now we'll install the libraries also. Now you see community client, community replacing MariaDB libs, and installing dependencies, client and common. So it will do rest of the things, right? Meanwhile, see that there also it is working, MySQL community, right? So installing all the dependencies, everything, because this machine, tester machine, has a minimum install. So this minimum install does not have the additional software which are required for the MySQL, and that's fine. Now we can close this window, increase the font size also. Just so I can increase, where is the setting, new setting, change settings, appearance, change the font, make it bit more better, and 12-14 size now is good enough. So this is 12 size, 14 size font size. Now you see it is installing. Let's see the same thing on this also. This is also installing. Let's increase the font size here also. Change settings, appearance, custom. In fact 12 is also good. Let's apply, and 12 size is also good. Now you see it. So it will install MySQL now. Once the servers are installed, in both the cases we'll take the next step. So as you see, the server is being installed right now. In the meanwhile, let's take a look at the lab assignment which I have. If you join the course at theskillpedia.com, you'll get access to the step-by-step process of installation and configuration of master slave and master application, both type of applications. So we are at this step now. We have Firewall D disabled. However, if had it been enabled, we would have given this command, right? Systemctl firewall dcmd permanent -add service MySQL, and then we need to check the log file, and we need to create a directory mkdir MySQL log, and change the ownership to MySQL for this. So right now the installation is almost done, and installation here it is almost installing MySQL server, and here also it is about to complete now, erasing the old binaries. So we are doing everything fresh. We are installing MySQL server, we are going to download the MySQL database, world database also, and we are going to do a copy paste on MySQL also. So installation of MySQL is complete. Now we need to enable system ctl enable MySQL D and start MySQL D. This will enable means when system restart, MySQL D must be started, MySQL server must be started, and start means right now it is down, so please start the server. Once it is started, we can grab password from /var/log/mysqld.log, and the password is this. This is the temporary password, we need to change it. So let's log in with this password, mysql -u root -p, and this is the password. So enter and just select the password. That's the advantage of this putty. So I can use shift plus insert, will paste it. Now I need to change the password. Alter user root at localhost identified by my new password. This is going to be my new password. Server change. Now exit, and I can log in with the new password. So now I'm logged in. So MySQL server is up and running. I'm able to log in. Now I can exit from here. Similarly, hope my second machine is also ready by now. Yes, it is ready. Same process here also. System ctl enable MySQL D and system ctl start MySQL D, and then change the password for root user. So grab password from /var/log/mysqld.log, and now login mysql -u root -p, enter, and select this password carefully, shift plus insert, and you are logged in. Alter user root at localhost identified by new password. This is the new password. Now I can exit and I can log in MySQL with the new password. I can log in now. I'm logged in. Now MySQL server is up and running, and I'm logged in. All set. Now I need to create a directory for log as per my this instruction, right? So firewall I have disabled. However, had it been enabled, I simply have used this command on both the servers to enable MySQL connections, and it will give the message that yes, and you can reload it, -- reload. Same thing here also, and then reload. So we have firewall configured so that it allows incoming connections, and I can move on to the next step now. So we need to create a directory here in var log so that we save all the logs under this. So var log mkdir MySQL, and then what we need to do is change the ownership of this directory to MySQL user, because MySQL is the owner of the service. So change ownership MySQL.MySQL of this MySQL directory. In fact, I must give the -r switch, uppercase R, the all the subdirectories also. Same process I'm going to do here also. So I copy this, create the directory very quickly. So mkdir MySQL, and then change the ownership with MySQL, and then we need to edit mysql.conf file for both the machines. so that my log location is mandatorily changed to this hyphen uppercase R. Now log file, log directory is created. I'm going to keep the logs here in this directory. So this file the auto.cnf is required if you are cloning the virtual machines. I'm not cloning the machines, and if you are using a scenario where you have cloned the machines, you need to remove auto.cnf file. SC Linux I have disabled, so I will not get into this. Now my most important feature, the replication slab, replication start from here. So grant replication slave on star dot star, on replication user, which I'm going to create. So let's create this, grant this permission on this machine, because this is slave is going to be on my that other machine, tester machine. So grant replication slave on star dot star to replication at tester, because that is my where my slave is going to be. So replication tester identified by followed by the password. So identified by, and I specify the password here. I want to keep simple password, identified by password. This is the password. Grant, oh I missed that, I'm so sorry. And this command is to be run in common sense. This should run on MySQL prompt, not here. So no problem, I give the command now. Grant replication slave on star dot star to replication at tester machine identified by sang1 at 12. This is going to be my password. Alright, so I have granted this. In fact, now I can try connecting from my tester machine. Let us try MySQL -u, user is a replication, -p, and -h is Oracle, and password is sang1 at 12, and I'm connected to my machine, which is a tester machine, Oracle hostname, sorry. I'm connected to Oracle machine, right? So to prove that, let me create a directory, create a database, create database test1 access. Okay, I have not given all the privileges, like I have not given the directory permissions on the tester, because the permission are slightly different here. What permissions we have give? Grant replication slave, we have granted replication permissions, not all other permissions. So that makes sense, so exit, permissions are working, and now my master is ready, right? Now I have to configure in my master the my.cnf file. I need to change these parameters. So let's change the parameters. I have to be a little careful, and I'll take care of what I'm doing. So let me go back and copy these files to my.cnf file. Exit, vi/etc/my.cnf, and here I am going to change some files here. So MySQL D, and I'm going to change the file here, paste some of the files, and I'm going to verify what I have done. So first is I started from here, bind address. This is not the address of my machine. My IP address of this machine is 10.0.0.10. This is the IP address of this machine. Data directory is where lib MySQL, that's fine. Socket is where lib MySQL, and look at the error log or where log MySQL. This is where the logs are, PID file, right? So socket file, socket is where lib MySQL.sock, which is already given, so there is no point keeping this entry here. Socket file is already defined. Log binary, data directory is where lib MySQL, data directory is already defined, so delete this. So symbolic link, socket file, then we have error file, PID file, and let's check rest of the spellings. So bind address, log binary, that is binary log location, which I just created the file. You notice in front of like I just now I created the file. And bind world database, the database for which I want to replicate is world. Then ignore DB MySQL and test server ID is 1, that's important. Then MySQL server, user is MySQL, base directory is user, MySQL safe is all good so far. So these are the settings which are required. Server ID and the bind address, these are important points. So I configured this in my main file in my master server. And let's restart the server. System ctl restart MySQL D. This will restart MySQL server. Right now, what is still missing is the world database machine. So I'll show it here. This is my GUI of the machine. So if I go to this directory, if you look at now under MNT, because what I have configured in my Oracle VirtualBox is a shared folder. Shared folder, click on the shared folder, and here you can specify. So you see I configured my Oracle folder as shared, and this is available. I know where it is mounted. It is mounted under MNT folder. So it is mounted here, and world database is here. So copy this file and paste this file here, and now I can import it and I can extract it. Let's go back and show you that from here. So cd desktop, and here you see my world database. So extract, that is unzip world.sql.zip. So file is exported. Now what I'll do is I'll log into MySQL as root user, MySQL-u root-p, okay, and then okay, I missed that password, and then I'll create the database here, or I can directly, in fact what I can do is let me directly do with this world.sql. This will create the database and files everything, so I don't have to do anything. So simply I can import it like this, and my world database is available here. Now show databases, you can see the database here, the world database is available. Now use world and show tables. This is the database which we want to replicate, right? So these are the tables in the database. So we have configured the database, we have restarted MySQL, and I can click on this show master status. I can copy it and I click on this show master status, and this is my master status. Because I have enabled binary log for MySQL only, for the world database only, that's why you are able to see the details of this MySQL bin, and the position is this, you need to keep track of it. So show master status, you need to take a look at this. Now slave 1, you need to go to slave 1 and make changes into the slave 1 directory also. So let's do that same process for slave also, because we need to keep track of the slave. So slave, and here we are going to copy everything for the slave also. I will just be extra cautious, verify if I missed something, and I cross check everything. So vi, this is my slave /etc/my.cnf, and I'll go back and see the same process here. Okay, so O, enter, and then right click and paste it. So I started from here, symbolic link PID from here. Now data directory, it is already defined where lib MySQL, so no point using it. DD socket file already defined where lib MySQL, MySQL.sock, good, no need to redo it. Server ID is mandatory, server ID 2. Alright, relay log is very important, where log MySQL, MySQL relay log binary, and log index is very important, we need to create these. And then log binary is very important, and binary log do DB is world. These are very important parameters which are required for the replication. and then user is MySQL, base directory is user, MySQL save parameters, and error logs and PID file. Error log is already there, where log MySQL D log, right? That's already defined here, and that is for safe purpose. So you can keep it or you can remove it, that really doesn't make a difference. PID, so you can remove from here, and then rest is good to go, and you can restart your server. Systemctl restart MySQL D. So MySQL is now restarted. So we are good. Now we have configured the databases also. On use, we already see that use world flush tables with read lock, and we need to take the backup of the database, and this is on master 1 we have to do it. So use world, and then we need to flush the tables with read lock, so that tables, there is nothing, no transaction is there on the database. And then we need to take the backup from the from command line. So exit from here, and then take the backup MySQL dump -u root and OPT, that is world database, and the backup is to be selected. So backup is taken in temp world.sql, and we need to move this backup, right? So let's do this scp/tmp/world.sql, and then tester1, root at tester1, root at tester, and :/temp, yes, and password for root, and the database is copied. Now we have the database on this directory, in the temp folder of this tester directory. We are going to import that. So same process, MySQL -u root -p, and then input redirection /tmp/world.sql, and this will create the database. No database selected. Okay, no problem, we need to create it. MySQL. So what we will do is we first create a database here. Database. So create database world, and database is created, and now we import it. Okay, yes, I missed that WORLD world. These are common mistakes. Now let's log in and verify. Show databases, and we have the world database here. Now replication is not yet started, and that's what we are going to do now. We have exported the data. Now log tables, show master status, this is important. Now we are on the original window, unlock the database and show master status. So we are on the server machine now, that is Oracle server, cd, and then let's log in. Now this is important. Now the process of replication will start here. Unlock tables, and then show master status. We need to keep this on the slave, and that will start our application. And this is the replication status. I mean, this is the status of binary log, and we need to specify this in our command, and we need to keep track of this. Okay, so we need to remember this, the log binary and log position and the database name. So we need to specify these things. So we have copied the files, we have taken the backup, we have restored the database, and we have already done this part. Now this is important part, change master to. Here we start, and this is the process of starting the process of replication. So on slave we give this command, change master to master host 10.0.0.10. all right, this is our master host, that is to be given in single quote. So let's give that a single quote, change master to this. Let's continue the statement. Master user is replication, as we noticed. we created master user, and master password we created that master password was not replication. If you remember, I give the password as same, so I will keep the same password. So here I specify the details. Let me just be double sure, ensure that the codes are not smart code and they are simple code. So just putting it, ensuring that, and here I specify the password, and this was my password for the master password, right, for the replication database. Master port 3306, master log file, and we need to specify the log file also. So let's continue. So master master port 3306, master log file is equal to the file name. What is the file name? The file name is same. Let me check that. So file name is MySQL bin. Yeah, let me select this and do it, paste here. Yes, I was able to do it. So MySQL binary logs. Be careful about this. So I have just changed everything correctly. So this is my binary log file, and last step left is MySQL log position, and I need to check that log position also is equal to, what was the log position, is equal to this. So I need to put this also, and this is a log position, right, log position. So you don't have to put it in quotes, remember, I missed that. So we have to be extra careful about the syntaxes. So, and then log position is equal to this, and then master connection retry in 10 seconds, and then semicolon. So comma, connection retry 10, and that's it. So you have an error in SQL syntax. Check your manual corresponding to MySQL version for right syntax of user. Master user is equal to replication, master password is equal to this. Let's see that what I missed. One by one, change master to master host. Okay, what I missed? Okay, I missed the comma. The comma is mandatory. Master host comma, and then I specify master user application. See, every parameter is separated by comma. You notice that, and that sometimes that is the error. Every time you have to careful. So comma, and then here also master port, and then comma, and here also the comma is mandatory, and I missed the comma only. So that's error, syntax error, minor syntax error. All right, and now it is done. So replication started. Now we can go to the start slave, right, on the slave itself, start slave, and now we can show the slave status, and that will show whether the replication is going or not. So slave, and you see bind, see the details. Slave has read all the ready logs, waiting for more updates. Everything is good. Important is relay count, server ID, everything is fine. Now we need to check whether replication is actually happening or not. Okay, show tables, and now I'll create a table. Is create table test1 name char 30 not null, and table is created here. So insert into test1 value, and I specify Ram and Sangwan. Let me see syntax. Please forgive me if I miss some syntax errors, because my more focus is on this now. Now select star from test1, and I'm getting the details here. Now let me see the master status, oh sorry, slave status. Use or show status slave, and here you see slave has read all the logs, and let's verify. Let me change the font size to a little smaller. Change settings, appearance, so that we can see it full screen. Yes, now we should be able to see the entire details. Look at this here. Waiting for master to send events. Replication 33 input output. Log position. What was the log position? It is 915 right now. And what was the log position when we started the position? This. Look at this. Log position has changed. Earlier it was 490461. Now it is more than this. That means we already have received the events, and we already have the data. Relay log position. Initially it was 1, and now it is 774, and now we are getting that. That means we are executing, and I'm sure we get the database and the table also. Use world, okay, typing mistake, and show tables, and see the test table is there on my slave's machine. Now select star from test 1, and the data is existed, and I'm working on my test machine. You see, I'm working on test machine, and if I add more records in this, I can see that here also. Let me adjust the screen so that you see activities on both the machines in simultaneously. Let me insert more name. So insert into, now this time inserting Randy, and Randy, it is your name, so you know that this session is for you. Okay, and now select a star from this. Now we got Randy, and now let's see if we have the details Randy available here, and select a star from test 1. Oh, we got the, every time we miss this. Use world, and now we see Randy is here. Randy, replication is working fine. So friends, what we have configured is right from basics, right from complete beginning, we have set up master slave replication, and that's all for this session. Thank you very much. Bye bye.